Upon Omniscient Awakening's release, Varga was said to be one of the best decks to come out of it, only to then be doubted by many people to not really be that big of an upgrade. But today we watch a game from WP Singapore to see if Varga Rasets or Rakshasa is truly as hype as it was at the beginning, or was it actually just a flop? Alright, we're going into round 2 of WP Singapore here. The rock, paper, scissors, dice roll. Ooh, look at that, the player on the left there got the Mikoto energy generator. That is the rarest and least amount of copies slash most expensive energy generator out there, so pretty good stuff. Could it be Michu? Michu's a pretty real deck, so let's take a look and see. It is Michu sleeves versus Now sleeves. What's gonna be the decks picked up? So the nice thing of doing VOD review of a game of a tournament that I didn't have the time to like watch live, so it's nice. Left player is a Lyrical Cup champion from the previous week. Oh, okay. So we have, how do I pronounce his name? Yen Shun versus Chong CZH. So we're gonna have a Varga versus Michu game. Their sleeves were not lying. So turn 1, I like that Varga's running the Vargilla ride line. I played against both variants. I played against 2 Vargas in WGP Nagoya yesterday. And so it's definitely quite nice to see both, but I do think the Virgilia variant is better. Michu, on the other hand, is going to just search out the Jumbi Bantan, whatever the English name is. The preparation's complete. And Soul Charge 1 here from it, and set the order, draw a card. You draw a lot of cards from it. And also having the turn 1 Nokuno in play is also very good. We're going to call out a trigger for aggro with the Yuika. So really, we're getting to see the value of the Yuika in this game already. Yo, what's up, Kalen? And then second damage already confirmed here. Pretty strong start for Yen. Looking pretty strong. So Yen Shun on the Michu. Michu's definitely a deck that's been getting tops everywhere. He's been getting tops in a lot of the different tournaments. I do like this very aggressive start from Chong as well, just because you really should do it with Varga. Otherwise, you're, especially going first, you might not be putting out enough pressure to win on turn 4. Which you don't necessarily have to be winning on turn 4, but Varga is definitely a deck that has the capabilities of doing that, so you should play towards that potential win con. I think they checked I missed what they checked, but I think it was a great one. Alright, so only managed to put in 1 damage with 3 swings, so Yen's using a lot of those resources to just guard early attacks. Gonna ditch the sneeze fireworks order. Fraud Slasher Dragon, damn, not like this. Okay, so we see the top 5 search here for either a Nokuno or a Order. Looks like it whiffed though, which is always unfortunate. It doesn't compensate you for whiffing either, which is pretty unfortunate. So there's gonna be, ooh, calls the counter charger, calls a grade 2 Nokuno as well, just a bash, and actually gonna go in, swing at the rear. We see Chong using the Gun Cycler, the Fire Hot there. Another 3rd damage already in. This Michu's super aggressive. And then we're going to see Yen here try to go in for the 4th damage, and you probably do. You definitely want to use the Yuika because your front row is going to get wiped. So, wow. Actually does the 4th damage. Like, you give Chong a lot of CB, but they actually don't have much to use that CB on this turn, because Shura doesn't have her recall skill live. Michu's fears it can get so out-tempoed in the first 3 turns potentially. Well, definitely not this Michu. This Michu is looking good. Obdure Sea Glaive coming in here with a back row boost. So double Boulder Axe should definitely do pretty good here. You get a 23k swing, and then you get a 28k swing, so you have good scaling. And then Varga's gonna come in twice. So you are generating 4 cards in hand this turn. But more than anything, you want to heal down. You want to heal down because I think having to deal with Michu on turn 4, because she will ride up and she will distribute at least 3 instances of 10k, if not 4. Not having an order just set on Yen's side last turn was a little bit unfortunate, but okay, we see the front committed. So probably the game plan here was, like, I think when you're playing against Varga, especially if you're at 1 damage, it's pretty easy to just go like guard this and then take the Vanguard swing. Because then the reset Vanguard swing will be usually easy to guard. If you're at 3, it's a bit different because you're also playing with the risk of them having the Divine Skill. But usually if you can shut out the Divine Skill and they're like, if they were going second on their turn 3, you can then prevent them from farming hand / healing down for your potential win turn the next turn. So I think it's pretty good game plan so far. We see a heal come down for Chong that is super important. Double heal. Okay, this is for Chong that was probably the only thing that they cared about. There's like nothing else that they should be concerned with that turn except for healing down, and being able to see 2 of them is really important because that undid a lot of the aggression from Yen these last 2 turns. So we're gonna see here how Yen will have to rebuild that tempo. Ditches the grade 1 Nokuno, so she's already on board, but this matchup is probably relatively Michu favored just because you do get to revive the Nokuno every turn after Rasetsu retires her in the back. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to CB1 for Michu's active effect to draw 1, and then it's basically the same as Leonore. You're going to just call out the Nokuno here. We don't see the... Ooh, okay. Goes for the Cow Boss 1, Soul Boss 1 to give the drive check to the grade 2 Nokuno, but where's the grade 1 that's superior rights? Uh-oh. Where's she at? Pulls a countercharger. She does generate a card from... Ooh, doesn't even have another order. Wow, wait. Yen's hand is like 1 card. Wait, this might be a Michu blow up. The grade 1's right there. What? No, it's not. the grade 1 that rides up to the new Michu, it's not there. Oh man, this is tough. So they're gonna use the cannonball in order to give the Michu the effect. They drew into 2 of the summer Michus, but this is pretty tough. You do have 1 CB left, so you can technically exchange Vanguards and try to do the same thing as Varga of just trying to heal down here. So 10k distribution, probably gonna go back row Nokuno and then 2 front row rears, I guess. Realistically, Yen's thinking about it. Alright, so I think he's just explaining what the effect is going to do, that the Vanguards are going to trade places. So let's see, Yen is a Lyrical Cup champion. Doesn't have the soul for the cannonball skill. Oh, you're so right, because they don't have the new Michu to reduce the soul blast cost, right? I'm so used to that. I forget that regularly that effect does cost soul. We see a crit come down. Now you do have to think about how much CB you want to give Varga, but if you give them 2, they can use Divine Skill and Varga, but I mean, if you're attacking Vanguard, they're gonna have the 3rd, which means they can use 1 Shura. So now it just comes down to if you want to let them use 2 Shuras, and usually they can 3 to 6 you there. So it is a bit worrisome. Gonna give crit to Vanguard power to the grade 1 Nokuno. OT comes out. Hold up, this could change everything. We're gonna see, potentially, at the very least, 3 damage going into Vanguard. Hold up. 3 damage going into Vanguard here. We still have a drive check on the grade 1 Nokuno and the... Ooh, they're not giving the 100 mil to the... Like, I mean, you kind of have a choice. You probably want to just give it to the lowest power rear. There probably isn't a point to give it to the upcoming Nokuno Vanguard, because she'll have pressure on her own anyway that will force her to be guarded. Compared to other rear guards that would have that pressure. Alright, 3 damage comes in, 2 defensives are hit. That's gonna be a huge help. Grade 1 Nokuno's effect is gonna let you ditch 1 and trade places for her and the original Michu. So now she's gonna come on in with 100 million. Did one of them get a warning? Yes, the little yellow coin is not a warning, it's a caution, I think. So they add up cautions into a warning into bigger things. All right, let's see. There's 100 mil. We do have a PG in Chong's hand, so I think it's probably actually fine. He's just gonna lose a lot of pieces from hand. Twin Cast will probably help to survive the Varga turn here. And there's the final drive checking card. Still has another PG in hand. Chong's really managed to farm up a lot of resources here. So gonna ditch the heal that they checked. If they didn't check those 2 heals, they'd be cooked. And now we see that Yen actually checked the heal there, but is no longer active. So they probably did want to heal down, but obviously, you know, generating enough hand with the drive checks is okay, and the twin cast should help. But I don't see a PG in Yen's hand, so that's gonna be quite lethal. So we're gonna see twin pulsive gonna come down, get a Shura out as well. So it's gonna be a very big turn, because essentially you are already in the range of the divine skill no matter what. So what we're gonna have here is you can technically swap the positions of these, but you don't really need to because you want to just like have this be like farming triggers on it. But essentially here we have Persona, right? So this is gonna be a 20. So this is 28 base. They both get 5k. We do have the energy cards, right? So the energy's right. So I'm covering it, but the energy is there. So we've got ourselves a 38 column here. This is going to be farming triggers, and then this will swing in again. This will basically get restood in a sense. They could also swing this unboosted, but there's no point because you get to recall the slash wind slash dragon. And then Varga's going to swing 3 times while this is farming triggers. So it's going to be pretty tough for Yen to survive this, I expect. I think if it wasn't for like generating resources from that OT and stuff, especially considering that they don't have, I don't think they have a PG in hand. It's gonna be quite tough. Ooh, they're playing the order, the drag resonance or whatever it's called. This is so when your Vanguard restands, your front row gets a 10k buff. It's gonna be huge for the numbers this turn. So yeah, this is very big. And of course, don't forget the extra 5k there. Okay, they have to put on the grade 1. 38k column for the first attack. This is probably the one you want. So this is where it comes down to before he checks the damage. When you want to take Storm Slasher, sorry. When you take the attacks against Varga, it's always really tough because the thing is that this is also my last round of Swiss was also against Varga, and I basically lost that last game. Not necessarily because of how I took the attacks, but it was mostly just because I was missing a tiny bit of shield to survive the last bit of aggression that I was receiving. But in the sense here, it's like you can, if you take this one first, it'll make it possible because they don't have a boost behind the Varga here. This is going to be the smallest Varga of this turn because there is a chance that the Storm Slasher will go behind Vanguard afterwards. So if it's just 33 and you manage to hit a defensive here, you are able to potentially no pass the Varga, but the Varga is going to be huge because it's 23 on its own, 33 from the skill, 43 with this. So you might want to already try to go for the defensives here, and then if they don't hit a crit, you can effectively take the non-drive checking attack, and then you're on 5, so even if they crit on the last attack, it's fine. But if you, so normally here before taking this attack, you would check your opponent's triggers that are out. So we do see 2 crits here, and there's probably like 1 or 2 crits in here too. So if you assume that they're not going to check a crit, you can build your defensive plan for this turn around that. But if you expect them to check crits, then you change how you play out this turn too. So it mostly changes whether you take this attack or not, and whether you take the first Vanguard attack or not as well. Because 2 to passing the first Varga swing is usually going to be a disaster because they're more than likely going to all in on the Vanguard because they have 2 more attacks from the Rakshasa this turn as well. So they do take it and hit a Yuika, no defensives. So that does mean that the Varga here is going to be just going absolutely crazy. Gets the back row, gets the front row retire, gets the shootout to come back. She's going to get herself a plus 10k. And then the Rakshasa is now going to also produce another 10k from the order here, which is very, very huge. So I think that the last 10k power block should go on the Rakshasa. Whoa. So I don't agree with this already because as you can see, they took the first swing and then they took the Vanguard swing, banking on no crits. I do think you should have then guarded this and taken this in the same sense, but now they lose to T, right? Because they just get crit. So that's definitely showing you have to be very much aware of how you want to, what your counterplay plan is against the deck, especially when Shoota's in play. So they're going to process the blue T first, do get the draw from it first, from banishing, but they're going to just take the 2 attacks and it's going to be game. We didn't even see what they took back, but Michu unfortunately didn't do too well. And Rakshasa takes down the Lyrical Cup champion from last week. So again, against Rakshasa is really important to think about how you want to play around it. And I think not having PGs was already a tough ask for that turn no matter what. But I do think it could have played around the Divine Skill a little bit better there as well. But it goes to show that it's a little bit tough. Even if you hit your OTs and stuff, what they really wanted there is just to heal down to 2 to be able to deal with that aggression. So pretty cool game. That was the first showing of Varga assets in its true power.